Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have an episode for you guys that is pretty interesting. So before we get into it, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, this morning I was doing some research, and we were looking for shows to produce. And the first news that popped up was about Draymond Green, right? So I started to read about it, and it turns out that Draymond Green wants a max contract extension with the Golden State Warriors. And according to a CBS Sports.com report, he is seeking an extension that would net him about $164 million over the next 5 seasons. So the minute I read that, I immediately put up a poll on the channel, and I asked the channel, we polled our audience, and we basically asked them, do they think that the Golden State Warriors should give Draymond Green a max extension? And of about 4,700 people that have voted on that poll, about 74% of our voters said no, that Draymond Green doesn't deserve to get a max contract extension. And it seems like our audience isn't the only group of people out there that feel that way, because I was recently listening to a segment from The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Chris Broussard, who do a great job. And it seems like they themselves have some pretty interesting, feelings about the notion of Draymond Green wanting a max extension. But before we get into their comments, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Aura, who's also the official sponsor of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards, only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's a sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. Let's play what Chris Broussard and Rob Parker had to say about Draymond Green wanting a max extension with the Golden State Warriors. Take a listen to what they had to say here, and then we're going to come back and react to it. Take a listen to that.
To getting Durant there. And so he's been a huge part of this dynasty for the Warriors. So I don't want to discount what he's done. But there is no way on God's green earth I would give Draymond Green a max level extension at this stage of his career. I'm sorry. Now, I'm looking at it like, look, let's not even talk about it. Let's see what you do next year. I don't have to say that to Draymond if I'm the Warriors, but that's what I'm thinking. You struggled mightily for the bulk of the finals. He came on, had a couple, nice moments late in the finals, but for the most part, you struggled. All right. So let's not talk about an extension of this magnitude. Just go out and ball next year. Let's see what you do next season. And even then, Rob, even if he plays great, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm really not thinking extension, not max level for Draymond.
Chris, can you ask me if I think Draymond Green deserves a max level extension?
Rob Parker, does Draymond Green deserve a max level extension?
Yes, way. Yes, how? But not from the Golden State Warriors. Let Colin Cowherd give it to him on the podcast network, on the volume. That's where he's an MVP. Colin, dig deep into your pocket, because Draymond, it ain't coming from the basketball world. I'm sorry. A max extension? Are you kidding?
You had me there, man.
You really thought I was
like,
good. You were like, what? What are you talking about?
Right.
Draymond, your days on the basketball court getting a max deal? Forget about it.
Crazy.
Now, if you want to go ahead and get into your podcast and think you're a podcast MVP, pony up and pick up the phone and talk to your boss, Colin Cowherd. Colin, is this on? Colin, he's your star on the volume. He's making waves. He made more waves during the final in front of a microphone than he did on the court. Draymond is a podcaster.
That's a fact. That's not just a funny line. That's a fact.
He's a podcaster, Chris. A better podcaster than he is a all-star max contract level player. I'm not saying he can't play anymore, but not at that level. The Warriors aren't drunk from the confetti of the parade. They're like, oh yeah, just give anybody money. Draymond, what do you want? We'll back up the Brinks truck. They must have been like, and real talk, they covered the microphone at the offices at the Warriors, Chris. They covered him up, and they laughed in hysteria. Are you kidding me? Draymond's asking for a max contract? Man, he must be drunk talking into that microphone.
So you heard what Rob and Chris had to say. Of course, Rob, man, he likes he always likes to elbow guys whenever he has an opportunity. But here are my thoughts on this. All jokes aside, this is a serious question, right? Does Draymond Green really deserve max money? So what I think one of the best ways we can go about answering this question is to look at players with kind of his similar profile and see what they're earning. For example, if you look at Rudy Gobert, who just recently signed, or was traded rather, to the Minnesota Timberwolves, he just recently signed a $205 million Supermax contract, right? So I immediately went to go look at Rudy Gobert's numbers, and if I'm looking at his numbers from a glance, last season, he averaged 15.6 points per game. He shot 71%. Think about that. I think he probably led the league. He shot 71% from the field, 71%, 0% from the three-point line because he doesn't take threes. He shot 69% from the free throw line. He got you 14.7 rebounds, 1.1 assists, 1.8 turnovers, and 2.1 blocks. If I'm not mistaken, I think he won the Defensive Player of the Year award. He's won a Defensive Player of the Year award for 3 of the last 4 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. He won the award in 2018, 2019, and 2021. Then you juxtapose his numbers with Draymond Green's numbers in the regular season. For the regular season for the Golden State Warriors in 46 games, he averaged 7.5 points per game on 52% shooting from the field, 29.6%, let's say 30% shooting from the three-point line, and 66% shooting from the free throw line. He got you 7.3 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 turnovers, but 1.1 steals and 1.1 blocks. And in the playoffs, which is most important, in 22 games, he scored 8 points per game on 48% shooting, 20% shooting from the three-point line, 64% shooting from the free throw line. Got you 7.2 rebounds, 6.3 assists, 2.7 turnovers, but 1.1 steals and one block per game. So those were Draymond Green's numbers, right? So just looking at his numbers, I can't really justify him getting similar money to Rudy Gobert, right? And it's worth noting that Draymond Green has not made an all-defensive team since 2017, right? And he has an average more than 10 points per game in the last 4 years, or at least 10 points per game, right? And if you look at his stats in the playoffs, they were totally forgettable, right? And I don't think one can say that the Golden State Warriors would not have been able to win that championship without the contributions of Draymond. I think they would have won that championship without him because, for the most part, he was bad by his own admission, by some of the comments that one of his family members had to make about him. So I don't think that Draymond Green right now is in a position where he's coming off a great year or a great finals performance for him to say, you know what, I'm demanding these type of dollars. But I think at this particular moment, it's a wait and see game. Now, some people are speculating that if the Golden State Warriors are not willing to offer him that type of money, he may leave. And if Draymond Green then does decide to leave, then the question then becomes, what type of player do you think Draymond Green would be if he wasn't playing on the Golden State Warriors? If he was playing with any other NBA team, would he be as valuable as he is? Because one could make an argument, the only reason Draymond Green is valuable is because of the situation that he's in. And in fact, the year when the Golden State Warriors were not good due to injuries of Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, he wasn't able to do anything, a single thing for that team. So I think we're just going to have to wait and see. I think a lot of people that are going to be pro Draymond Green getting that max deal are going to be people that say, hey, listen, look at all the things that he's done, you know, for the Golden State Warriors organization. And the people are going to be against it like, yeah, we saw what he did, but he just had one of his worst NBA finals of all time. His numbers were abysmal in the regular season and in the NBA play. And then some people say, well, you know, Draymond's, I know. So I think it's going to be an ongoing discussion. I think we just have to wait and see if the Golden State Warriors are going to give him that deal. But the question to you guys is, do you think he deserves a max? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts in the comment section. And we catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.